Long ago, in a small village nestled between two mountains, there lived a young man named Takeshi who believed he was destined for greatness. He had read every book in his village, debated with every scholar who passed through, and won every argument he ever entered. His mind was sharp as a blade, and he knew it. One day, Takeshi heard rumors of an old Zen master who lived at the peak of the eastern mountain. They said this master possessed wisdom beyond anything found in books. Takeshi decided he would climb the mountain, learn whatever secrets the old man held, and add them to his already vast collection of knowledge. The climb took 3 days. When Takeshi finally reached the small wooden hut at the summit, he found an elderly woman sweeping leaves from the stone path. Her face was deeply lined, her hair white as snow, and her movements slow but purposeful. "I am looking for the great Zen master," Takeshi announced, slightly out of breath. The old woman looked up and smiled gently. "You have found her. I am Master Yuki. Come inside, and I will make you tea."
Takeshi was surprised, but followed her into the simple hut. As they sat across from each other on worn cushions, the master began to pour tea into Takeshi's cup. But she did not stop when the cup was full. The tea overflowed onto the table, dripped onto the floor, yet still she continued to pour. "Stop! The cup is full! No more will go in!" Takeshi shouted, jumping back. Master Yuki set down the teapot and nodded slowly. "You are like this cup. You come to me already full of your own opinions, your own certainties, your own pride. How can I teach you anything until you first empty your cup?" Takeshi opened his mouth to argue, but for the first time in his life he stopped himself. He sat back down, his cheeks burning with shame. "I will stay," he said quietly. "Teach me how to empty my cup."
Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Master Yuki gave Takeshi no lectures, no books, no debates. Instead, she had him carry water from the stream, chop wood for the fire, and sweep the same stone path every morning. Takeshi grew frustrated. "When will you teach me wisdom?" he finally demanded one evening. Master Yuki was stirring a pot of soup. Without looking up, she asked, "What did you learn today?" "Nothing. I carried water and chopped wood, just like yesterday." "And what did you think about while carrying the water?" Takeshi paused. "I thought about how this was wasting my time, about how I could be learning great things, about how unfair it was." "Ah," said the master. "And did the water care about your thoughts?" "What? No, of course not." "Did your thoughts make the water lighter or heavier?" Takeshi considered this. "Neither. The water was just water." "And yet you suffered. Not because of the water, but because of your thoughts about the water. The task was simple. You made it complicated." She handed him a bowl of soup. "Tomorrow, carry the water again, but this time just carry the water." The next morning, Takeshi walked to the stream. He filled his buckets, and for the first time, he simply carried them back. He felt the coolness of the morning air, heard the birds singing in the pine trees, noticed how the sunlight sparkled on the water's surface. The weight was still there, but somehow it felt different, lighter. Months passed, then years. Takeshi learned to chop wood by simply chopping wood. He learned to sweep by simply sweeping. He learned to eat by simply eating, to breathe by simply breathing. The endless chatter in his mind grew quieter. One spring morning, as cherry blossoms drifted past the hut, Master Yuki handed Takeshi a small bag. "It is time for you to return to your village." "But I have learned nothing," Takeshi protested, then caught himself and laughed. "Or perhaps I have unlearned everything." Master Yuki smiled, the same gentle smile from their first meeting. "Now you understand. The greatest wisdom is not in filling yourself with more, but in making space for life to flow through you. Go and teach others, not with words, but with presence." Takeshi bowed deeply and began his descent. The journey that had taken him 3 days of struggling now took only 1, for he walked without resistance, without fighting the path, simply walking. He returned to his village a changed man. He no longer won arguments because he no longer needed to argue. People began seeking his guidance, not because he had answers, but because in his presence they found their own. And every morning for the rest of his life, Takeshi would pour his tea and leave just a little space at the top of his cup, a reminder to stay empty, to stay humble, to stay open to whatever each new day might bring. Moral: true wisdom comes not from accumulating knowledge, but from cultivating humility and presence. When we empty ourselves of ego, pride, and constant mental chatter, we create space for genuine understanding and peace. The simplest moments of life contain the deepest lessons, if only we are open enough to receive them.